Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Hope you are doing good and well. And thank you so much for joining the last session, last episode of Unknown to None with me on the series of Year and Reflection with Anubhav Ritolia. So, hi Anubhav, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm really good. How are you, Anutul?
I'm doing good. So, Anubhav, as per the tradition which I follow in my podcast always, we always go for the prayer first. Let's ask God to give us the power to strengthen the words the thoughts so that what we want to communicate with everybody should be going the same manner only. Okay, so we'll take a 10-20 second pause here and then we'll proceed for the year formally open the session with everybody. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so Anubhav, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm really doing good. It's a start of a weekend, so let's see how weekend goes.
Nice. Okay, so let's go about your introduction first. So definitely you are not a unknown face of the social of the community of the LinkedIn as well. You are a very non-famous personality on the social media in the ServiceNow community as well. But still, as there's a lot of people who are joining new in this group in this session as well. So we'd like to know that who is Anubhav Ritolia, how he started his journey, IT journey, and how he led it into the ServiceNow ecosystem.
Okay, so starting from my career, I can say I have done a BTech graduation from computer science,
Okay.
2015 pass out. I got a placement in TCS during campus, but I was not too much satisfied, or you can say like I was looking for more, and the joining was not there. So I started exploring off campus. So I have that kind of exposure of uh, struggling for 3 to 4 months off campus, but then the joining of TCS came, and I joined TCS. I started my training in Kerala, and then went to Hyderabad. Though it was not my preferred location, but still I was open for it. And I would say like still I didn't stop my off campus because I was not into a project for a longer time. So I was still looking for more opportunities. I was even traveling to up and down Bangalore lots of the time. But suddenly when I put into service now, so there's an interesting part how the journey of service now started, because for a college graduate, no one knows what is service now, and
True.
the way training started, and the way people have the perception that it is a ticketing tool. During trainings also, it's more like a incident problem and all they
Yes.
do. So whole my batch, I think 17, 18 people always used to every 2 weeks or 3 weeks went to HR asking them that please change our domain, we are not from ticketing tool and all. But when we got to know that there is no scope, we have to do it. And when we started learning it, we got to know that this is something unique, this is something in demand, this is beyond what we were thinking as a ticketing tool, or more demanding, I would say, from my perspective, than a Java or something. So from there we started that interest of learning, and then suddenly got into a project also. And from there the service now journey started. And as I had that kind of a struggle during my off campus placement, and I've seen so many of my friends, especially I would say female people, like I've seen they have to face lots of struggles. Some have also faced a kind of a harassment or a scam. So many lots of scam used to happen, their consultancy and all. So from there only I started my journey of guidance to freshers. So
Mhm.
parallelly I was working and I was guiding freshers to select the right path, or at least to avoid the path. And I don't have a count, but I think more than 500 or 600 people I've guided in as a fresher to get a job, or 1000 plus to a guidance as a more of a what to avoid, how they can select a path. I used to run that time, I think, Facebook pages and groups and all. So till now I have those. So from there I started my journey. I always have a mindset that if I know something which can help someone just by sharing a knowledge, we should not uh, refrain from it. And I think more than doing the things, I think when I was giving this guidance, that the more learning was coming.
True.
That helped me to understand what is the market for freshers. Then as a service now, I think in my batch I was the first person to switch. I was not too much happy with my switch, but at least I got the idea how that switch happens, what is the market demand. And then I started guidance into service now, jobs also, what openings are there and all. So from there my career started more into a service now modules. I have been part of a, luckily though it was not a financially satisfaction, but the kind of
Hmm.
work I used to get has like a spike in my career, I would say, because just in the experience of hardly 3 years I've completed, like I was handling the whole project alone. Like I was only working as a BA, I was only doing the architect part, admin part, documentations, and everything, onboarding of the new employees. And I have that good rapport with the client and all. So from there, I got to learn as an end-to-end implementation, how a service now integrations and lots of things. Like in just one project, I've learned I cannot even tell. And from that experience, at least I can say like it's not about 8 to 9 hours job. I have to push myself to spend some 12 hours, 16 hours, but just for one project, putting that effort, I think hardly for 6 to 7 months, I think I've gained the knowledge with hard means which would at least take 1.5 or 2 years.
True.
So putting that extra effort always help. And then from there more I started guidance on ServiceNow jobs and all, creating different and used to have applied so many places that I can count on my fingers who is the HR for which organization, who is the practice for which organization, what type of openings they have, what type
Right.
of budget they have. So from there I got lots of market understanding, which I
True.
always share with the others who are switching. And I think from there also I've guided so many people from non-technical or a non-service now background to learn service now and switch. So there
Right.
also I think more than 50, 60 people I have guided who have moved into service now, who have switched. And some are even I can proudly say are at a technical leader or architect level in some of the organizations.
Nice, nice.
So those kind of a guidance I've done.
True. So it means it's not choice of Anubhav, it's choice of destiny, that destiny put you in by force in the service now, and what we are able to see as Anubhav Ritolia today is due to destiny only, right?
Yes, that's true.
So do you curse yourself that if I'm not in a service now, if I did not work in the service now, where you will find yourself now?
Means I think because from the college we didn't have much exposure, so we were
Hmm.
in the market. Understand, we only have a limitation of Java,
Right.
.NET, or web development. So I'm not sure, because I was more looking into those kind of a role only, data the data structure and all. I was having a good experience that time. So if you know, like people in data structure and all who are good, they more look for those kind of a role, or
True.
Google, Microsoft and all. But I think I feel lucky to be into service now, because I feel this is that domain where I have a job security, I have a good growth, I have a good understanding of community. So I don't feel regret that I am into service now.
Good. Nice, nice, nice. So it is well said, Anwar, right? That God's plans has always a better plan than yours plan. What you think is not worth, but God plan is definitely is a worth on that particular part. Might be delay or late. Okay, so you say that in the beginning of your career, when you started and you have a campus placement available, but you're not happy. How was the Kerala experience you find? You moved to the Kerala for the TCS training.
Because I think it was a very short time only for a
Hmm.
training. So I would not say much experience I got as a Kerala, but like because it was not a, it's was more for adjustment kind of a scene, and
Mhm.
that by the time we started getting adjusted, it just went over. But I think it's a positive and negative thing because I never had the chance. So luckily through that, had a chance to go to Trivandrum, and also in Kerala I traveled to some beaches and all. I don't remember
Right.
the name, but I think there was one uh, beach or fall where reverse waterfall or something happens. I don't remember
Oh,
that
nice.
name.
Okay.
So those kind of places I got to travel. Obviously, being a vegetarian, it was little difficult to
True.
adapt in the starting, but then somehow we survived with dosa idli in the starting years, and then it hardly take much time.
Agree. No, 100% agree on this one. And if I tell my story, that's something that I 2009 when I started my journey, I was based out in Chennai in after 6 months. So our daily dinner was only dosa. So we have a pet shop there. We go 3 or 4 roommates. We go there. We just order Anna these dosas, have 1 or 2 dosas, and then come back. And I guess 3 to 4 months we continuously have just dosa in the dinner, because you know that you're a fresher. You just join. Your salary is not that
Yes,
much good
yeah,
that
exactly.
you can have a lavish dinner every day. Good, good, good. So
We also have that
this
food truck just near our
oh, okay,
location. So there only we used to, I think, 7, 8 people
right.
together there because it was so early morning. We used to have to wake
Yes.
up 5 o'clock, and then when the day over, we don't even realize.
Realize, right, right, right. Because get up early, then go to the training on the time like 8 o'clock. Have
Yes,
to be class back to back classes. No. Okay. So this is what is a little bit I can say start. So where you are working currently and what your role at point of time.
so currently, I'm working in EY. My
Okay.
designation is manager, but the role I can say it's mixed kind of a role. So at a project point of view, I work more of a technical. So I can say multiple projects sometimes. So more of a technical lead or architect level. But apart from that, I also take care of other managerial aspects like hiring part I am taking. I'm also a L&D lead in my organization. I'm also working on the demand tracking, project allocations, finances also like invoice generations and all approvals, timesheets, proposals for that, mapping the resources to other projects. So people management, one of the major part, like I have around 12 or 13 people tagged to me. So lots of kind of exposure I can say currently
Okay,
I'm
so
doing.
there's some question came every time that when you say it's a technical, what do you mean by the word technical here? Because being a trainer, sometime I got a message from my participants, from the audience, as the viewers as well. Atul, I want to become a technical architect. I want to become a technical solution consultant. So what you define as a technical? If it is a technical means you must need a coding experience to reach on that particular place, or you can skip that coding experience but you understand technical terms. That is called the technical stuff here. How you define that part?
So technical, I would say, at a very layman terms, the person having admin access first, because then
Oh,
he have a background of it. Then I
okay.
don't think coding is the main. Obviously, the person having a coding experience is good, but in service nineties, I can say now as it is moving more into a low code, no code, so it's not limited to coding, and I think at a large level of coding is anyway categorized as a customization, which is not recommended. So
True,
a basic level of JavaScripting is enough, but as an architect, I don't think I have to do a coding or something. It's
true.
more about the feasibility, to understand what type of feasibility we have, configurations we have. Best practice is the major key thing which uh, every person should be aware, that whether you are following that best practice or not. Whether it is categorization of configuration and customization is very important as a architect, that because from a development point also licenses comes into a picture as architect. Earlier we don't think from that point of view, we just think from a technical, but as an architect that also comes as a picture, that whether the solution provided will cost
Work.
Additionally, is there a license cost? Is there a maintenance performance impact? So those kind of thing is major. I don't think that technical means coding. Obviously, it's a added advantage, but some basic understanding of coding should be there. Otherwise, it becomes
So
difficult.
when you talk about the technical again and say the best practices, so being a technical, I can say the technical lead or the technical architect or the technical solution consultant. So do you deal on the table level as well, database level as well, or just as you say, feasibility, best practices is the core area or the core work?
So I as a technical architect, obviously everything we have to see, table level, coding level, best practices, maintenance. But like depends on the role to role. If you are technical lead, then obviously you have to go into deeper to solve the complex requirement without, obviously, though it is customization, but some part of customization would be required. That is where the role of a technical lead comes. But at architect level, if you don't have a technical lead, then you are only a lead and architect. But you have a lead, then it's more about solutioning, how you're proposing the solution. One problem can have multiple solution, but which is
True.
the best solution, which solution is following the best practices. Sometimes it's not about meeting the 100% of the requirement, but to reaching that requirement. Even if you, without any customization, you're reaching to 80%, that is where the role of architect comes. That do you really need the rest of the 20%? That discussion, that will this 80% be enough, or what is the criticality of that 20%? Why you need that 20%? What is the frequency of that 20% requirement? So those are, I think, aspects we have to see. The long term solutions what we are seeing, also proposing something new features coming, or should we wait sometime. I have experienced this not at an architect level, but as a role of architect, that we have to see whether this feature, if you know that some feature is coming in Vancouver,
Right.
but we are in Washington, so we can propose them that, okay, can you wait till Washington, sorry, can you wait till
It's
Vancouver, you will get
it's
it
it's,
out
it's
of
a
box.
right. Yeah. Okay.
So those kind of a role comes as an architect, I would say.
Okay. And okay, that's fine. If not wrong, even I can say that I'm a architect because I support my project. I do requirement gathering, designing, solutioning as well, but not on the table level, on the feasibility level, licensing level, performance level as well. Okay. And how much you interact as a technical with the BA or the BPCs or the product owners?
So I think internally, regularly we have to connect because like developers and all, obviously effort estimation and all. BA also, as we anyway have a daily call which is run by BA or something. So if they are facing any kind of a challenge, so we have to, because see, it's though at a client facing we are technical, but internally when we are discussing, if there is no
Team.
manager, we only as a manager, we only lead those things, we only lead the challenges, tracking those things. So that regular connect happens more than the, I think, with the client interaction happens more frequently, because any discussion will require technical things. So first point of contact become the technical architect, who should be part of that particular discussion to understand the requirement, to convert it into a technical term, to understand the feasibility, costing and all. So I think that regular connect keeps happening. That is where I can say like 50 to 60% of my time goes mostly on the calls and meetings only.
And the discussions, definitely, yes,
Yes.
that's the important part. And definitely without BAs or BPCs or the product owner, it's tough to be run the show, even though you are
Yes.
technical, but we are the core, or we all are the core for to run this business. Good.
Yes.
So in your introduction, Anubhav, you say that you are be working as or you are as a hiring manager as well. And definitely if you say that you are hiring manager, you hired a lot of, if not hired, but you appear or took the interviews as well, understand that how the candidates look like. So what are your thoughts about the current situation in the market, that how the market is going on from the freshers perspective?
So I won't means from the freshers perspective, I can say there is very limited openings, and to be honest, which I have noticed being a good connection, and I also have a very good connections with the HR, they have a fear of hiring freshers, to be honest.
Hmm.
Because in the market, though people will not accept it, but it's a fact that not 100%, but the mentality has changed after the COVID. So their focus of struggling is very limited. Their focus is more into, I'm not saying something is wrong or right, but it's more about the perspective that now it's more about work-life balance. And different people
True.
have different definition of work-life balance.
Definition, right?
So that is where they are more looking for a focus of a remote job. But we know my senior have a very good understanding. I would say that remote is not an environment; it's just an arrangement. It was a need of the environment. They gave the arrangement, but it's
Nice.
not like a long-term solution. You can work your thing, but if you're working on remote, you may not get 100% visibility what is going on in the organization, what is the growth, what is the future, what type of adaptability is happening, connections. So that will be missing.
Hmm. So when you interviewed let's talk about the freshers first. Then we'll go for the
Okay.
experience one. So what, as a hiring manager, you think that a candidate should know, at least minimum should know, if he or she want to be go or want to be enter the ServiceNow ecosystem
As a fresher, you are saying.
as a fresher, right? First go for the
So
as a fresher, then we go for the experience level as well.
okay. So first of all, see, service now is something where you have all the material online. So I always say this that the world is putting the 90% to help you train. You only have to put the 10% to get those knowledge. So your 10%
Nice.
effort is just required. If you need anything, you have the community, you have the now learning, you have YouTube, so many places. You also have a YouTube channel and all. So there is no challenge. PDI is there, service now is giving. So if a person I can say is doing a small kind of a project implementation in their PDI, understanding out of box functionality, just a basic level of JavaScripting, that will be to a good level sufficient for a person to be eligible for the opening happening. Because I have seen it's not limited, but like I can say from example that there is an organization who are hiring a fresher. So suppose 10 people are applying for it. The one person who just know a JavaScript or something but not aware about ServiceNow, but someone took some extra effort, 2 days only they learned about ServiceNow maybe, or one person have implemented some. So obviously some the HR or the company will prefer the person who have that knowledge. So that is where it is effort. And now lots of the organization I would say don't want to spend their money or effort in training,
True.
separate training. They want to deploy the people directly into the project. Obviously that project level training or that now learning guidance will be given, but sorry, a separate training they don't want to spend. It's a long budget I can say. That is where they look for a people who are already prepared or trained or maybe at a level where they have a implementation idea.
Hmm. So it means that 100% agree on this particular point. That nowadays, almost 99% content is available online. You can pick
Yes.
up anyway, YouTube, blogs, videos, now learning, community. Means you just think you have something on that. Even Twitter as well, you have some service now pages. On the Facebook also, you have pages. Now, if I'm putting efforts and let's say it's go well, what minimum module you think that a fresher should know at a current point? Because when you started or I started this service now journey, even though you say that you're 2015 pass out, but I started my journey in 2014 7 service now, and that time it was the same thing. It's a ticketing tool, and if you know little bit about service now, incident change, problem, client scared, business would, you're good to go, which is
Yes.
not the same case now. So according to you, what are the minimum modules, if I speak from the development perspective, I should know, which make me a little different than the other people in the interview?
So first, as a hiring manager, I can say apart from modules, very important platform. I have interviewed I think more than 100 plus, but we have seen people coming with multiple modules, but they lack platform. which is of no use for a developer. So it's very important that you are good at platform development, you know the functionalities, you know flow designer, you know reports, you know about custom application to a good level nowadays, integrations and all, you know scripting you are good at. So those is the main thing. Module, you know me, I know that it doesn't take more than a 1 week to learn. Obviously, to
True.
start with it,
To start.
to have a use case, ITSM is enough, which I think most 90% of people start. But apart from that, platform is important, because within our organization also, right, if I side the hiring part, we don't limit someone to a module. If they have a good platform, we ask them to just prepare one module in a week, and then we are good to deploy them into a
People are
project.
right.
But if they're not good at platform, it's of no use. Clients are also nowadays taking the interviews. It's not the same cases that directly you can deploy. 70 to 80% time
Correct.
clients are taking interview, and it's more
Yes.
tougher than the interview we are taking.
Right, right. And also I think that nowadays clients are also getting a lot of maturity, and they also know the service now, like they're the like competitor of the same which is hiring managers is doing at point of time. So they go. I remember that in one of my client, I guess when I was in India approximately, he was taking out the mistakes of my developer in the flow designer. Why you use these many loops? Why you're using these variables? Why you're not using variable sets kind of things? And I was surprised at how this is we doing. He said, Atul, don't think that we are just a client. We are technical people as well, and we support on this particular stuff as well. So this makes my eyes open. Definitely, it's not the earlier days you hired just put in the project. Now you interviewed in the internal company, the interview by the client, only then you will say, yes, let me hire this particular person for this particular project. Good. Now the question come, how I can make my skills better and better in ServiceNow ecosystem. PDI is one of the case, but I'm sure definitely you got a question on the regular basis. I Anubhav, I done CSA, now I want to be make expertise, or I want to become expertise in scripting. So what you suggest to your people that how to be make your skills better?
So obviously practice makes man perfect. So it's very important to keep that practice, so people lose the flow. That is, shouldn't be the case. So they should always be in the flow, and they have to be upgraded themselves. Like, I still see people with 5 years 6 years experience, they don't know flow designer. So
True.
that is where even so client, as you mentioned, right, client even say that why you're using flow designer, workflow, why not flow designer, why you're still using this kind of a report, why not a general configuration or drill down report.
Drill
So
down.
that is where it is important that we have to be upgraded what things are coming. Obviously every 6 months is not possible, but at least 1 year or something which is getting very frequently used. Like nowadays, we don't, we or any people will not prefer people who don't tell them I didn't get an opportunity to work on flow design, because it's not someone tells you, it's your instinct, it's your decision that how you want to automate. So that
Correct.
is where those kind of things, use cases, they have to work, they have to upgrade themselves, they have to push themselves. If they to be just relating it to being a hiring manager also, that someone coming and saying that I didn't get a chance is a very negative impression, and
Mm,
50% time I can say there and their company reject them.
rejected. Right.
Because if you're saying you didn't get a chance from project, is different thing, but you are getting a chance from the world. You have the PDI, you have the plugins, you have the material. Even now for micro certification or now learning, you have
Everything is there. Right.
activities and simulators. So even
Right.
use cases, you have communities, you have use cases, you can always reach out. So that is never work that you are saying that my project didn't give me an opportunity, so I don't have a knowledge. So that is very important, at least for me, or what I can say, not just in this organization, previous organization also I was leading the interview. So self learning is a very important factor, because today maybe the skills you have, we may have a project after 6 months, what if we don't have, and the person is not a self learning, they're just waiting for the opportunity for the same skill. So we don't have such kind of resources to just wait for it. So that
True.
is
So,
very frequent
yep.
way.
So, yep. So it means if we want to be conclude this particular part is the only thing is that a user, a person need to put efforts to go a little bit extra to learn the
Mm.
things, and there's a no deficiency, no lack of content, use cases, learning concepts, or anything which you think need to be required to learn something is already available on this particular part. And one thing which I also understand from your perspective, Anubhav, is that instead of going on the module, first clear the basics of the service. Now this is what
Yes.
is you say, right?
That is
Like,
important. Yes.
so like I can say flow designer, integration, reports, performance analytics, predictive intelligence, and I can say CMDB, CSDM kind of things, notification, which is always a core in the system. Without these things, no module exists actually. So module definitely,
Yes.
as you said, module can be learned in a 1 week. And I learned one module in a 1 week, and you will not believe I learned it via writing the story, via writing the test cases. My manager says, okay, you have to write the test cases. Okay, I read the story, I learn it, and then write the test cases as well. And this is what has been done. Good. Now we'll play a game with you, Anubhav. Okay, because it's almost a lot of discussion has been done. So what you have to be do? Will Jerry will pick up your question definitely after this game. I am giving you the word alphabets, and you have to be give me a one term from the ServiceNow ecosystem. But that should not be the release name. Otherwise, you know everything. Okay. Okay. Any term is starting with C.
CMDB configuration
Yeah,
item.
maybe. Very nice. Okay. Anything we started with D.
Database view.
Database view. Nice new terms we are getting now. Okay. Anything with the starting with the T.
E.
T T T T for Tango.
Okay. I think
This is core of service now. We can say tables.
tables. Yes. Sorry.
Yes. No, no, come on. That's no need to be sorry. Sorry
It
here.
doesn't.
This is what I learned in my B experience. Sometimes we think a lot and we forget the basics as well. And this is what
Yes.
you're repeating in your session as well, that basics is important instead of going to the advanced level. This is always important. Okay. Something with S.
Script action.
Script action, nice. Okay. Something with Y.
Mm, Why?
Yes.
Any hints?
Then here that's here to be defined. So we can say Y can be the Y axis
Okay.
in the reporting we use definitely. And Jerry said T for the task as well. Again, the core or the heart of service or heart of the service.
Base table.
Okay. Yes, definitely. Good. Okay, now I'll take a question which put by Jerry. Have you received any mentoring along your learning journey as well?
So obviously means I have lots of mentor. Uh, I have learned a lot from few of my managers, my current manager also lots of thing in my previous organization also lots of thing not just at a service now level but at a life level at a learning level as I mentioned right. One of them as I mentioned right, remote is not an environment, it's just an arrangement.
True.
Then I have learned from my previous mentor also that never wait for appreciation. It will it's not in our hand. So for I have always means I was from that uh, part where I always waited for appreciation, but I learned that for us appreciation is nothing but learning. If I'm learning something, for me that is appreciation. At the
Wow.
end the result matters, at the end the role matters. It doesn't appreciation after even after 5 days if you ask someone who got the appreciation, to be honest you may not remember, or even you won't. Even today if I have got some appreciation, even if you ask me when you received it, I won't remember exactly which month or which year I got
Which
it.
month, right?
But if you ask, as I mentioned, if you ask me which date or which time I learned this thing, I can tell. tell that.
True.
That
Wow.
is the memory, that is the appreciation, I can say. Maybe financially a hike or something, a role or promotion, but we shouldn't wait for appreciation, because as a manager also I can say, like, it's limited also. Sometimes we cannot give it to everyone, though everyone is putting effort. Sometimes it's difficult to give it to everyone, but
Wow.
it's in our mind, we know everyone is putting effort, so those kind of effort. Then obviously at a meetup level, so many people have got to learn different things, small things, community contribution. When I started, so many people have supported me. Like Anil was there, Amit was there. So I I can reach out to anyone, and no one have ever had refrained from coming. So I think it's n number of mentors I have.
Nice. Wow. But I must say you change the perspective now, at least for me, that appreciation is not the something which you're getting. Appreciation is learning. Beautiful words. I'm not sure that who is the mentor who give you this particular stuff, but it's very beautifully he mentioned. And remote is not a environment; it's a arrangement. Nice. So this is what I can say. The power of the mentoring. A right mentor is the one who can build a person rightly. Otherwise, might be you can be destroyed yourself, or you are not the right, the same way you are representing here very beautifully. And I want to be thanks to your mentors who give a light, or who give this beautiful learnings in the form of the appreciations and beautiful thoughts by mentoring as well. That's nice. Okay, now I'll come to the next part. So we'll pick up the questions as well. There are two or three questions in this particular part. Okay. So, how you started the journey of a community contribution? Like you pick a few names. Anil was there. I know that Anil was a guest for me in the last week as well. Last week. Amit was also was a guest for me. So, how you start contribution? Are the people behind that push, or it's internally, like you already doing on the Facebook as well? So how you come in this picture as well?
So not one person, but how the journey started, I can say. My journey as a meetup organization was interesting from just a participant. So first I attended some couple of meetups. Then I got an opportunity. I think Mandar was there that time. He reached out to me and proposed, suggested me, if you would like to present one of the topic in the meetup. I gave that presentation. I gained those kind of exposure. Then when I moved into Globant, I think that time it was used to happen in the Globant, and
Right.
one of the old, I think, organizer was leaving, so he handed over. Chandra was there, so he handed over that role to me, and I was always open for it. And Mandar was my mentor that time. I learned a lot as an architect from Mandar, to be honest. How to be a good architect, how to be a good leader. I hardly spent 5 6 months, I think, during the Globant with him, but in that 5 6 months, I got to learn about a lot. And then he gave me that opportunity to lead that meetup with Sujan, and I think Vinayak was there. So from
Vinayak.
there my journey started. I got lots of guidance from Sujan, from Vinayak, though I was not, means always have a fear of public speaking. I can say I was not that good. I still remember, just to a flashback, like in the class 3 or 4, when we had that speaking contest or something, I was
Right.
numb. And a very funny incident happened, I think, in 8th class in my boarding, when I was have to speak about Rani Lakshmi Bai, but due to nervousness, I always use the word he instead of she. And
Okay.
everyone, I think, in front of me, the principal, the mentor, or that leader was laughing. I
Hmm.
was not aware why they are laughing, and later
Laughing
they
at me,
told
right?
me that this was the thing. But I always took that as a challenge, as a public speaking to.
True.
So I think from there I took that as a challenge, that it's okay. We have, it's not alone. There are people like Sujan, Vinayak, Anil, and all who will support me. So from there I started my contribution journey. To be honest, I was not aware that is one of the contribution for Rising Star or MVP. That is where I never
Mhm.
nominated that time for a Rising Star, and then just the meetup contribution started. And How I started community contribution, that is also an interesting story, because I always believe in leading. So I used to guide 3 to 4 people, and I always used to tell them, you start contributing and in the community and become a rising star. But I noticed that no one was doing that. And then I realized that because I am that leader, unless I become the
Hmm.
rising star, unless I put that effort, how will I
Yes,
show a path to them? So that
true.
from there my contribution path started. I started uh, contributing in a community, questions, articles, LinkedIn and all. And then when I became rising star, it gave me a path which I can guide others. If you have seen so many people, then after new batch, so many people became the rising stars and MVPs, because I was confident enough to tell how you have to guide. So from there, my contribution started. And to be honest, sometimes that time it used to be more like a habit, or a, you can use the word nasha. Even
Addiction,
like
right?
today people wake up and used to open Instagram or Facebook. I used to open community.
Community, right?
How much my contribution have been contributed, is there new question I can contribute? So like that, it was becoming a habit for me that time, like a nasha for me. And everything, even if I don't know, I learned that it's not about solution, it's about the approach. Even if I know one line something related to it, I just
Right.
share that.
And also this is you rightly said, it's not only the solution, you also come to know that what other people think about this problem statement. That is
Hmm.
more important. So I definitely the word which you use is very much right. It's addiction. And the days there was a days when I was fully addicted with this community. Either before sleeping, walking, morning walk, evening walk, we just have it on the phone just checking these things. And I saw that how a developer is answering, how a BA is answering, how a consultant is answering, and everybody has different answers. And everything, I think every answer is the right one, because what the other person is thinking is the matter actually here. But yes, contribution is a key, not only for the rising star or MVP, is only important when you want to be learn something new. And strongly believe in your words as well. And I can put a echo on this particular part. The things which you can learn from the community, you can't learn from anywhere. It's a free shop.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Because see, if I am not able to give the right answer, but we get comment, but we get
Yes.
notification, right? If someone puts, so from there we get a use case. Okay, I was not aware how to answer, but now I know what is the right answer. Or sometimes I see a very interesting question and I don't know the answer, so I just subscribe that question so that someone gives the answer, or
Right.
some approach we learn. So though my solution may be 180 or 190, but I can say I learned 500 things
Yes,
from them.
yes, yes. And I think just share the latest experience on this particular part. There's a question came on the community, and there's a person who answer is with the scripting as well, that you can do this particular part with this script. But I put an answer that why you need this. It can be done by this way as well. It is completely out of the box. What value are going to be drive? And I was surprised that my answer was accepted. Even I was thinking that it was only solutioning or the scripting part, but that person said, right, your valid point. Why I'm doing this thing? There's a value. So again, not for you, not for me, for everybody, including myself and yourself as well. That community is not a. I'll say it's not a shop. It's a big, big, big mall now. You go and you can shop any kind of a
Yes.
category which you want to be learn. So what do you learn from the community?
I think uh, technically, obviously, but solutioning I learned from community. Because there have been I have seen, obviously in the starting it was a little frustrating, but if I go to a flashback, like I was putting the same solution, someone else was just
Hmm.
rephrasing it or something, and they were giving, and that became, so that time it was looking to me little frustrating that I gave it first. But slowly I got to know that it's not about the exact solution, it's also about the
Presentation.
presentation, how you're presenting it. Like just example, if I say there is some code they have asked and they are saying that I'm getting this error, I know the change that I mentioned, that okay, in line number 17 this you have to correct, but someone will just copy paste the whole code, correct it, make it a comment, and that becomes the
Right.
solution. So it then I realize that it's not about just a answer, it's also about the presentation of the answer, how you're presenting it, how you're make the impression.
True.
So then from there I've improved that solutioning
Okay,
part also.
might be let's put this question this way. What you think, or what your perspective, what your approach, that if somebody putting a question on the committee specifically for the scripting part, will you give them a full code or will you guide them with the steps only? Irrespective,
Depending on
irrespective
the
you're getting acceptance or not, getting kudos or not. What your thought process?
uh, depending on the person also, but obviously my best thing would be to give a guidance to him so that they learn. So I generally give a guidance like a just a hint or some kind of a approach so that they can try. But like in the earlier stages it was not the case
True.
for them. To become a rising star, the more important was to get the answer. So that time we used to give the solution. But ideally I would say, rather than giving that, if you want the person also to learn, instead of that just give him some kind of a him, give him some
Right.
kind of approach. Because if he is facing, he will obviously comment it, and then
Yes.
you can give more hints or you can give the solution. But it depends on the person to person who is contributing. If their target is to just mark the solution, because we have seen some uh, people who are just following up for it.
Hmm.
They have given a solution, but I can see 3 to 4 times they're putting the comment, why you're not marking my question correct, why. So then I realized, instead of putting that effort in following up, instead I can go for another question. At least I will learn
Yes.
something, or there I can get a
Right.
solution.
Good. Okay. And the last, which question put by Anita here, as a company, how should bid for a ServiceNow project? I'm not sure that how much you can answer on this part because it can be little confidential matter. But what is the process? What are the steps need to follow to get a ServiceNow projects?
So I don't have a understanding how to get a new client, but if some new one, but someone client comes, obviously we prepare a
True.
proposal where we prepare about the organization, about the practice, what type of level we have for a particular demand, what type of certification or resources we have, then the implementation success stories, some kind of a success stories, what type of implementation, unique implementation you have done, uh, particular requirement, what type of roles, means like which people you will be giving, what type of nowadays very important is health
True.
scan, if you know. So if you start including that, this is your benchmark, like your client who for this particular module or for this kind of a role, the our benchmark is of 85% health scan or 90% of a health scan. So that will give a good quality of work to the client, a good understanding that okay, this organization is giving a quality to. That is where for a company or for a client is more important a quality, because they can get the service from
And
n
number of
number of
projects.
organization. But we have seen, as a manager I've seen that just because of those quality, the client transfer their project from one organization to another. So that is where my focus is always on best practice health scan, that if you are giving a quality, if you are process streamlined, documentation is
Hmm.
very important.
Okay.
If you are also focusing on a proper documentation, so that is where obviously it's a dicey thing. Proposal, if you're bidding,
Right.
obviously costing is somewhere involved, if you are bidding a less and a good quality health scan and all. So we can put our effort, rest the call is upon
Client.
client. But these are something I can say through which we have gained some
Right.
clients.
Okay.
So
So Anita
this
just
I
put
can say.
addition on this part. If the company is a startup, then how to get the projects?
And that is what I think, for some organization, it's for a client, it's not about whom, obviously the trust is
True.
important. But for a startup, as I mentioned, the experience should be there. There should be a implement, as I mentioned, success stories, that they have
And
implemented this
if they
kind of
don't
a
if
have
they don't have any kind
experience.
of a success stories.
That obviously is difficult, because that is where
Hmm.
organization or client is paying
Too
too
much.
much, right, what you are not getting. So obviously they will not randomly go to a chance to organization where they have. But if they have a low budget, startup is also giving at a low budget, there may be a chances, or sometimes they give a chance at a low cost to 1 or 2 months for a
True.
trial basis, depending on. criticality of the client. But for a startup, obviously it becomes very difficult unless they have a implementation. So before that, a very important homework should be done by the startup, maybe a use cases they can
Right.
implement in a implementation phase, and then they can, obviously 100% you cannot give accuracy, some kind of a you
So
can say a miss here and there you have to
So
manipulate
it
as well.
means being a startup, you have to be prove or you have to be give a confidence to the customer that if you give the project to us, we can do. Even though we don't have any kind of a logos to be at, testimonials to be at, but we have a skill set, we have the people, and we have these use cases as well, which we can handle. Definitely, I'm not sure Anita that from which company you'll be here now, but good luck if you're looking for some new projects. Definitely, do a little bit more research. Might be you can check on the now crate as well. You will find some kind of a more sorry, more good documentations which can help you to use in the bidding, or might be doing the documentation as well, kind of implementation process as well, which you can which helpful for you. So good luck for the same.
And more thing I think I can add, like in the startup, it's about your previous
Right.
connection also. You must have worked with some of the client where they have that kind of a rapport with you. So maybe they know at the end it's people. So they know that this person have that experience, or I can trust this person. So if this person is not in this organization and there is some additional, that kind of, that is how I think startups
True.
also start, right? They take their some of the trusted client to some of the project, and then so that is how you can take more some kind of a use cases with some, maybe in the loss or less budget, and then once you have that kind of a testimonial, maybe there you can
Perfectly
scale.
fine, Anubhav. So now we're almost at the end of this session now, but still last 7 to 8 minutes are left here. So how you feel when you become the rising star? And in which month it
So
was
it was
month
a
you become rising star?
I became first rising star in 2023. I think in the March, and the result came. So it was a great feeling, to be honest, because it looks means all the contribution, the efforts you have put have been recognized. It gives a good reputation, more kind of a personal branding for you. The recognition increase, people start recognizing you and connecting, obviously through a meetup and all and other activities. I have that branding, but having a rising star, it's like a ServiceNow logo directly attached to you, and then direct connect with the ServiceNow people. You get understanding, you have the option to give some ideas to them for a new initiatives and all. So I think that is a separate means out of the world kind of a feeling to become a rising star. And then again, as my contribution continued, I think last year also I became the rising
Nice,
star.
nice, 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 nice. So, okay, because this session is basically this particular series is the year-end reflection. How was your feeling in the first 3 months of this year, from January, February, and March? What special happened and what unspecial happened?
So I would say starting of the year was a little struggling for me because I joined EY as a manager in the August and September, and that was a struggling kind of a role for me because lots of things, lots of expectation was there, lots of learning I have to put, and that is where I think it took me till March, April to adapt to that nature, to adapt to the people, to learn lots of things, get involved into. I think that was the duration when I took the ownership of the hiring and all. So that was a struggling and a learning phase for me where I started learning, I started new modules. I think GRC journey started, IRM I started learning there, or I was having some exposure, but uh, there also. So I think starting of the year was more of a struggle or a learning phase for me.
Not no struggle. It's appreciation and learning.
Yes,
It's
appreciation phase.
appreciation.
Yes.
Right. Okay. What happened after 3 months? That March has been done. April, May, June. What special happened in your career? Anything special?
I think good growth
Mm-hmm.
happened during that, because then because that was a fluctuation time, right? That from a technical point directly jumping into a manager role. So sometimes your mind is also dicey whether it is a right decision or not. But after that, I think from April, May, I think I realized that this is the right thing I have done. and it may took some time for me, but then I it started things started taking more smoothly. I understand the processes. I started taking the notes, and means thing got streamlined
Hmm.
where I had to struggle and more effort and more time. I used to start learning delegating the things as a manager role, delegating the things and taking the things more streamlined, prioritizing things. So that was more of a learning phase. Obviously that is still continuing, but the struggle or the more effort was reduced to
Right.
it and more smoother duration started, I think that
And
time.
I guess during this period, you become your father.
Not at a
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, I think I was just about to say, but not at a career level, but I think struggle started at a personal level because that time my wife was pregnant, so family burden was there, means struggle was there. But then obviously by end of the June, mid of the June, uh, I had a son, so
Nice.
that was a different kind of a that is one of the everything for me.
Very nice. Beautifully articulated. And congratulations for becoming a father as well, and welcome in the parentinghood. Hope you are enjoying the things now as a father, as a technical architect, as a lead, as a manager as well. And I can see your friend is also just joined now. Good to see my fellow mate Pune Meetup host with Atul. Thanks, Gaurav, for joining. Okay, so that was the time when you become father and you got your own MVP badge in your family now. Okay,
Yes.
now what happened after that? So we have 6 months has been gone, August, September, and October. Anything special on the career level, on the professional level, personal life level? Anything special?
Uh, Special, I won't say anything, but it was but like middle of the 6 months was like that only. Means I have to time management was something I have to struggle here and there because sometime I have to give at home also and then at a career also, and that was the phase where I have to put some more efforts at a career level also. So time flies like I didn't realize meetups was going on. So here and there we have to put some effort. So just a step by step growth, I would say, was going on at that
Nice.
time.
Just one question on the meetup part because a lot of people reach out to me as well. How anybody can be presenter in Pune Meetup, and why Pune Meetup seats are
I
filled
think
so
there is no
fast?
so fast. First of all, to answer why it feels so fast, it's about the energy people have
Okay.
in Pune. So it's not upon us; it's about the people. So obviously, Pune people are more enthusiastic in attending such events. You have seen we always keep breaking our own
True.
records in the meetup. So it's not something extra we are doing. It's all the participant. It's all the effort people put to share. Even people outside of Pune we have seen are sharing about Pune
Yes.
meetup. So we don't have a control in it, and obviously it has a limited seats. That is why we always also have an option of a online sometimes, so that the people who are
Can join,
interested, there
right?
is no limit. And to become a presenter, I think there is no particular criteria. We have mentioned this multiple time in our meetups also. Anyone who is interested to present, they have some unique kind of a topic to present, they are always welcome to us. We will, based on the participants we are getting, based on the availability, we will see. Based on the topic, we're not saying that someone will be rejected or something. Based on that, we have options. If not more than three, if we are getting and we don't have option, we can push them to another, or maybe we can give them different topics. But there is no limit. Anyone who is interested to be a
Mm.
participant,
Presenter.
sorry, to be a presenter, they are always welcome to
Nice,
share.
nice, 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 nice. Good. Okay, so how is personal life going on now? How many sleepless nights you already done, and how many are still pending?
I won't. I mean, it happens sometime, but at the middle of the night, two times I have to wake up
Okay.
to feed my son. But that is how the struggle happens. So now we have that habit,
True.
so we know that it's okay. And I have to go to office also two times. So that is going on sometimes. It's a part of our life, so we have to just go ahead. It's just go, I can say it's just going with the flow. I don't have any kind of a complaint in my career or in my life. So it's good to see, like, coming from office and then suddenly seeing a happy face
True.
of my son and then
Yes.
playing with him the whole night. It's a different feeling, obviously.
True. Beautifully. Yes. That's I guess that is the golden period or golden time that you spend time with your family, your kid as well in that particular part. Okay. Last, definitely, it's a last question. If you need to be asked one question to me, what will be your question?
um, Very interesting question I can ask. Many people come to me, like, apart from, like, you are not into technical, more of a business consultant, process consultant kind of a role. So what is the future of it? What is the, if someone who is not into technical person, like people who is from MBA background or a BA background, how they can go into that role which you are, and what is the future of that, and what type of responsibility you have to play in that role?
Okay, so I'll definitely very interesting question. So I will not say that I am or the person who is playing this role is not a technical. We are technical, but not up to that level what the technical architect has. So I know or we I know 30-40% technical and 60-70% functional as well. So this is what I can say, that I'm not a non-functional or non-technical guy. I'm a techno-functional person here. Okay. Now when you come to the future, what I think personally, that this is the domain which cannot be taken care or cannot be overridden by the AI. We need a human being to do the workshops. We need the human being to get the requirement. We need the human being to run the show and to get the requirement from the customer. Machine cannot get what I can get from you. Might be if this podcast has been arranged by ChatGPT and Anubhav Ritolia, might be this question should not come out, or might be more better the question should be come out as well. So this is what I think, that this role cannot be replaced by this by the AI or this thing. Now, future is definitely good. It's not like just I'm doing a BA part. So I started as a BA, then I become the business process consultant. After that, you can go to the next level of the product owner. Then you can go for the platform owner as well. So you can enhance your skills. In our role, the key is that modules that will be better, because customer is demanding nowadays. So they need, I need GRC, I need SecOps, I need demand management, I need SPM, I need PPM as well. So in this case, technical cannot be the one thing. The challenge is that, do you know the module, how that module has been built up, how the module has been interconnected with each other. So I can say future is bright, and this role open more path to learn more in the different ecosystems or the more module level. So challenging as well. You can't be stick on only one module or the two modules. You have to be stick on the, or you have to go for multiple modules. But yes, we work collectively with the stakeholders. We work collectively with the technical as well. We work collectively with the developers as well, and definitely with the testing team as well. So I hope that that answered the questions here.
Yes.
Okay, now on your
Yes,
behalf, your best friend asked a question. When you are joining Pune Meetup in person with us? My last question to Atul. Tough to be answer. I'm not sure that when you're planning the next meetup, because I have some plan to be travel to India in next month. Let's see how this be happen. Otherwise, not next month. Then possibly in somewhere in March or April, I'll update you, Gaurav. But believe me, till now, I joined only one meetup in Pune in person. I guess that is 2015 or 16 somewhere. It was in Globant. I traveled from Hadapsar to Globant Hinjewadi Phase 3. Too much tiring, because you can understand 30 kilometers you have to be travel on one side that part. But I was not aware that the people who are presenting in that meetup I'm going to meet like this, like Anubhav, you, Gaurav, Sujan, Amit. Even I would, that time I was not know that who to whom I met on that particular day. But now it's look like I miss a lot of things. So Gaurav, it is still open question, but hopefully in the next year I would like to be joined as a in person with Pune Meetup. Might be not as a guest, not as a speaker, but as a friend. I will be there, and I will properly registered as well. No wildcard entry I required. Okay, so don't worry on that particular part. Good. Okay, Anubhav. So this is what we have in our session today. The year end reflection. Definitely, you teach us. You shared us a lot of things. Good learnings. It's not appreciations. It's about learnings always. And with this, I would like to be say thanks to you. But before we close this session, again, I follow this tradition in my podcast as well. That let's thank to the God who give us the power, give us the strength as well. That words, thoughts, movements which you want to be discussed, we discuss that part. And same has been taken by our audience and the guest and our viewers as well. So let's 10 20 second pause. Thanks to God, and then we'll formally close this session as well.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So before I say thanks to you, Anubhav, I would like to say thanks to all my audience who with me for the whole year in all the podcasts who joined. We learned a lot from everybody together, from the guest, from the audience, from my viewers as well. So first of all, thank you so much to all my audience as well. Now, Anubhav, thank you to you as well to accept my invitation the last minute and give me opportunity and talk to you as well. And with this, to everybody, this is the last session of this 2024 from the unknown to known or the year end reflection from the learn and grow together with Atul ji. We're taking a break now for 1 week, and I will back again on 4th of January. Yes, that is 4th of January with a new guest. It's a surprise now that who is becoming on the podcast now. It's already finalized, but I'm going to put the flyers very soon as well. So another guest is coming on the podcast. Let's start the year with the new learnings as well. And good luck to everybody. Have a festival season and wish you a very healthy, wealthy 2025. And thanks to you, Anubhav, as well.
Yeah. Happy New
Yep.
Year, Atul. Happy New Year,
Thank you
everyone.
so much. Yep.